here is Craig Button, as promised. So, Craig, I haven't even talked to you in 2025 yet, so is it too late for me to say Happy New Year? Larry David says this is too late, but I feel like it's not too late.
Listen, come on. Larry David said it's too late. It's too late. Come on, there's a moratorium on it. The statute of limitations run out. Like, you can wish me a lot of things, okay? Groundhog Day's coming up. You can say, hey, what do you got planned for Groundhog Day? But to say Happy New Year, sorry, Jay, long past. You're late.
Okay. That's story of my life, really. Edmonton Oilers dropped the first of 3 Connor McDavid suspension games. How do you think they handled themselves on the ice, Craig? And I guess my bigger question for you is, can this Oilers team take this opportunity to actually learn a little bit about what their squad is all about without McDavid in the lineup?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying, Jay, that the Edmonton Oilers are better with Connor McDavid than without him. So, I mean, let's get the obvious out of the way. But this is a top team in the league. You watch what they've done over the course of the season. I mean, everything with respect to the way they try to generate offense, the way they do generate offense, the way they defend, the power plays right up to where they want it to be, the penalty killing's much improved. This is a top contending team, and they've done it without Connor McDavid previously. But right now, Jay, I have a vote in the MVP, the Hart Trophy, and my first place vote on this day would go to Leon Draisaitl. How many teams have the benefit of having one MVP candidate, let alone 2? And Leon Draisaitl drives play in so many significant ways. And he did in this game. Listen, Logan Thompson was outstanding for the Washington Capitals, and that was a big reason why Washington won the game. But when you talk about carrying play and generating chances, the Edmonton Oilers have done that. And Chris Knoblauch is amongst the very best coaches in the National Hockey League. So when you say find out about what their team is, they know they have a good team. For Chris Knoblauch now, it gives him a chance to give some other players a little bit more ice time, put them in the positions that they might not be accustomed to. And I think that's really beneficial come playoff time. You know, you're trying to look for a little spark here, a little spark there. And now with the knowledge that Chris Knoblauch gains by seeing players in these different positions, taking on a little bit more responsibility, see how they handle the challenges of playing against the other team's better players. Well, now he can see a situation arise in the playoffs and go, hey, I know this player can handle that because I saw it back in January. So that's the benefit, what they can go through here over the next 2 games without Connor McDavid.
For the Ottawa Senators, not the best night in New York. And New York's always fun, but it wasn't that great for them on Tuesday. However, Brady Tkachuk, if you're a Senators fan, Craig, I mean, no matter how down and out this team is, Brady Tkachuk is always going to try to drag them into the fight. You got to love it. But what did you think of the sequence between him and Igor Shesterkin in the third period?
Yeah, well, you're right about Brady Tkachuk. And you know what I'd like to see is and it's not on Brady. It's about every player saying, okay, we know the game starts with the opening faceoff, so we got to be ready to go. We got to be ready to take charge here. They weren't ready to go. The first 2 periods, they'd had 12 shots on goal. They were a step behind everywhere on the ice, and only the benefit of 2 offside challenges made the game seem a little closer than it was. Well, Brady Tkachuk is not going to take things laying down. He goes after it. He gets involved. He gets invested. But, you know, it's not just up to Brady Tkachuk to drag his team into the fight. If the Ottawa Senators are going to continuously look to Brady Tkachuk and say, oh, you got to drag us into the fight. Oh, let's wait to see how Brady does and see if he'll drag us into the fight. That's not what good teams do. What good teams do is they take on the responsibility and everybody goes out and does it. For the Ottawa Senators, this game is a perfect example of why people have a hard time really believing in them as a contender, as a playoff contender. Because they show some good things and then they fall back, and then they show some good things and they fall back. It's up, it's down, it's in, it's out. And that's why there's not that real deep belief, as much as people want to believe in that. Jay, in 9 of their last 11 games, they've scored a total of 11 goals. And they've scored 3. They've only won 3 of those 9 games. It's not good enough. The goaltending wasn't great on this night, but nobody was good on this night. So for the Ottawa Senators, it's that old saying, show me what you got. You show me glimpses and you give me reason to believe. but you don't keep my interest. And that's where they're at. And Brady Tkachuk's going to dig in. He's going to play hard. You love his spirit. You love his fire. But everybody's going to depend on Brady Tkachuk to drag you into the fight. Just that comment alone, anybody making that comment tells you that they might have some issues about, getting into the fight themselves.
Doesn't seem like the Montreal Canadiens have those issues right now, Craig. How about the Habs? They go down 2-0 to a good Tampa team. They battle back and win. They haven't lost back-to-back games since mid-December, and now they're back in an Eastern Conference wildcard spot. Craig, I'm going to give you the opportunity on my show to have the floor so you can officially declare the Montreal Canadiens rebuild over. Here you go.
Well, the rebuild isn't over because when you're rebuilding, you're trying to build to something. It's like a house. You might have the basement done, you might have the first floor done, the second floor, and now you're building around it. And that's what the Montreal Canadiens are doing. They have a really good foundation. They have really good areas of their team covered off and some really good young prospects coming up. But when you look at what they're doing right now, you're seeing a lot of things come to fruition. We know how good Nick Suzuki is. We know how good Cole Caulfield is. Lane Hudson's been outstanding on this team. But the second line right now for the Montreal Canadiens, Newhook on the left wing, Kirby Dach in the middle, and Patrick Laine returning from his injury. They've been excellent. They're giving an offensive boost to the team. They're taking some of the offensive burden off those top guys. The goaltending's been excellent. The defense is really settled in. And nothing that they've been doing over the course of the last month, last 5 weeks is accidental. They're playing really good, strong hockey. So for Kent Hughes and the group in Montreal, I think they have to look at trying to strengthen the team. I'm not saying go silly and trade something away that's significant for your future, but I think they can help this team be a little bit stronger and help those players that they're going to be counting on for success in the years to come to start to taste that success. And at the very least, start to taste and feel how hard it is to win and be successful. I think that's really important because people talk about culture, Jay, but you continuously lose. Your culture now is not what you want it to be. And I think that the Montreal Canadiens showing Kent Hughes and the management group that they are to be taken seriously, then they have to be serious about being a buyer at the deadline, not a seller.
And next up for the Habs, another one of those teams that's desperately trying to get back into the playoffs. That would be the Detroit Red Wings. That'll be on Thursday in the Motor City. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our Director of Scouting, Craig Butt.